voices, media,
your opinions important, so you gotta speak out. Don't let your chance to be heard pass by. Spell out, let me hear you loud, proud. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues.
Welcome to Neutral Voices. I'm Dr. V, and this is In Depth, where we dig deep in the trenches of what matters. And tonight, I hope y'all got your shovels.
We got it.
Because we're going to dig deep into crisis communities. We just might be living in one.
We just may.
We may have a lot of crises in our communities. The question is, who's going to save us? Or will we save ourselves?
That's a good question.
We need to save ourselves. So, I mean, that'd be we need to stop asking for other people to come to save you when you have all the capabilities of saving yourself.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't know. And so we I know, but I'm just saying sometimes, we are waiting for Superman or the super church.
Yeah. We wait.
We are the Superman.
We should be. Or woman.
No, I mean, yeah, we are a super person. I mean, you have to understand your mindset have to change. In order for you to get to another level, your mindset have to change. You cannot consistently say, I want to do something and don't do it.
Right. And so talking about mindset. So if we look at that, because we're always talking about protecting our mind. And so I love that you're saying you got to have a shift in your mind.
Correct.
In your thinking. And so in order to build resilience in our community, what does that look like? And so I started off with the super church because I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and then they like to point the finger and say, well, the church. So let's start with the church. Jill, what's your perspective on that?
So, I mean, I have many perspectives on the church, but I will start out by saying that I was reading an article the other day, actually today, and I found something very interesting. So it was actually a survey done. It's called a Barna report, and they do it every year by the Barna Group. And this study was actually from 2023, and it said that 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. thinks that the church should lead in solving local issues, followed by actual members of the community, then charities, businesses, and other organizations. The interesting part of that is 50% of those people are considered unchurched, which, according to this study, means they haven't been in a church for at least a year. 50% of unchurched people said that if the church organized some kind of community event to help, that they would be completely on board. So I think a lot of times we are looking for the church to be a leader, a platform, and going on. Another thing in this study that I thought was really interesting is there was a pastor that said, let me find it here. Oops. There was a pastor that said, is the church only the church when it exists for others? And I thought that was extremely interesting. So my perspective is, yes, I feel like the church should be a pillar in the community. I also feel like a lot of churches are a pillar in the community. They're not going to be the all savior, but to give an example, I work in the housing market. Most of the time when my tenants need assistance, do you know where that money comes from? It comes from the church. So it's not something that we talk about a lot, but 90% of those funds that help the people right here in our community when they're struggling financially with rent comes from our local churches.
And that's interesting that you said 50% may not even attend the church.
Yes.
But yet, if the church would take initiative for something in particular, that they would support it or follow it.
Yes.
So they're talking about the church building? Or the actual church?
I was going to ask that question too.
See, that's where things get kind of misconstrued and twisted. If you're talking about the church building, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I was going to say, so E, you know what people mean when they say the church.
But no, let's not. I mean, let's make it. Let's make it make sense. The people makes the church.
Correct.
So when it's all said and done, if we're looking for a church to do something, can I just go, Clarence? Can I
You
take
can go.
can I take the leash off just a little bit?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not
go
looking
with you.
when you saying a community want the church to do different things. We're not looking for a face.
I think we're going in the same place. Go ahead.
You're not looking for a face, because if you're looking for a face, you got plenty of them already out there just for a face. But if you're looking for a real leader, he's not going to show his face, but he's going to be in place.
Got you on that.
So when it's all said and done, because I understood it too. Oh, the church need to step up. The church need to step up. Right. But let's clarify: if the church step up, that means the community people that goes to that church will step up.
Yes, you preaching
Yeah.
that.
And
Can I get on
yes,
that? And I was going to go with that too, E, because my question is, in what capacity are you looking for the church to help?
Right.
What church are you looking for to help? I wanted to know, when people say this, what are they looking for? E hit it on it. Do you want somebody, a figurehead, to come and stand in front of people? And
the whole popularity thing.
yeah,
They do that on Sundays anyway.
Yeah.
So why we need that out in the community? We do it on a Sunday anyway.
Yeah,
Next,
or do
my
you
bad.
want, like he said, a working body in the
Okay.
community? But I think a lot of people, when they place that blame, they try to put it on a man or a few men instead of looking at the whole. As he said it, the church is not a building; it's an organization
Right.
of people. And if you have the people that's doing it, then. But I also think with us being the church, the people being the church, is that we're looking for another something to blame for us not doing what we're supposed to be
need
doing.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to say real quick, just because we mentioned the churches,
Right.
that there are some churches where the people in the church,
Correct.
and we had somebody here yesterday, our guest,
Yes.
youth, or what was it, youth,
Young
Young
Mothers,
Mothers of
America.
America.
Yes.
It's so awesome. They're at a church. They said they were faith-based,
Yes.
and we do have people that work directly with churches to make communities better, and like Pathway Church.
Yeah.
There's different programs. So I just wanted to say that may be happening, but if it wasn't for the people in the churches.
Yes.
So can I just mention, like, even one organization, this is not necessarily the church, but it's an example of people from the community stepping up, kind of like the 10-Point Coalition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at one point you have these people walking around a community,
Yes.
and I'll say some maybe not trained
Right.
physically to secure anything
Right.
or etc. But the idea that they would get up to do this,
Yes.
that
Right.
they would step up.
Right.
So the question is individually, because when we start looking at crisis in a community, we have to look at what we can do individually as well as a community.
Yeah.
So if we take some ownership ourselves tonight, are you doing your part? If so, what does that look like?
Right.
And can you do something better?
Right.
Right. And what
But I really do want us to address that.
yeah, no, I want to go there with
Okay,
you because there's another aspect that I wanted to hit on that. When we talk about it, we only specifically talking about the black church.
Are we?
Most
I
of
mean,
the time,
we-
most of the
we
time
have
when we
to.
hit
I'm
at it.
just I know, but I
But
didn't
I'm
know
tell
if
you,
we were just
hold
talking
on,
about
hey
the
Clarence,
black church.
I'm going to clear up what you're saying.
Okay.
Because we talk about the black church because that's our arena.
There we go.
community.
But
That's
is
our
it?
yes, it is. That's
Why?
our arena.
Because that's all we see.
That's all. Yeah, that's our arena.
Why?
So we don't. A lot of people don't step outside their arena.
I know, but
And
when
we
is that
don't
the
step-
only arena you're
I
in?
was just about to clear that up, but go ahead. E.
We are. That's the only arena we in because that's us. We. At some point, we have to take responsibility for us.
I'm not want to be in that arena.
You have to.
Well,
I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna put it like this. You want to play in a whole nother arena when the arena that you belong to is not even straightened up.
yeah. But I
Figure that part out.
I got you on that. But also I was talking about this because a lot of people talk about, well, we get the black churches money, we do this. But do you know the percentage of money that the black churches is versus taking any other denomination, Catholics? Let's just look at the Catholic Church. They take in billions weekly. So, but we're expecting, this community not to be able to we get this minimalism, but we don't talk about the billions that come into the, come out the community and things like that, which they could support.
I just want to make sure we're clear in that we're following you 100%. So you're saying that the Black church brings in
they're bringing billions too.
But hundreds of dollars versus these millions that's coming into these other community churches.
And then we say, well, they're not doing this, but you look at it overall. So that's why I'm saying, at what point and what aspect are you asking for the church?
And so even though we say that, and I know we just having a good conversation about crisis in the community, but I want to say too, we are contributing our dollars to some of those same churches that's pouring that, because we are everywhere. I just want to make sure that's clear. So when we start speaking about our community,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not just owning one corner of the city.
We're saying the same thing, Dr.
Okay.
But we're blaming the downfall of our community a lot of times in the Black church, but as we're giving dollars to other churches, and they're still not pouring into, that's the point I was making. So we're speaking on the same thing.
So while we waiting on somebody else to save us, so is it true that maybe we're not doing all we need to do to help or support ourselves, our brothers, each other,
100%.
And then eventually we're not doing our part to save ourselves from the crisis that we may face in our communities.
Yes, we have become, in my opinion, a very wait and see what someone else is going to do society. Not just with the churches, but with the school system, with the government. Anything that I expect you to do, I can also do. Anything I expect Clarence or E to do, I can also do. But I feel like we have become that society, and not become, have always been that society that I'm going to wait for you to do it. And if you don't do it, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to talk about you, because why aren't you doing it?
Especially if you own a business.
And something I couldn't find this a little bit ago, but a pastor, when I was reading that article with that study, he said that to measure the success of his church, he asks himself, if our churches closed today, if every church in the community shut down today, would our community feel the loss?
Nope.
And if yes, what loss would you feel? And if no, why not? No. And that's a powerful question.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I think you and I understand.
Getting ready to say,
I can tell you why.
Why?
Because there's no presence of it. I was told the church was the cornerstone of our community. And this has come from a pastor out of Fort Wayne that said this. So if you're the cornerstone and our community is jacked up, guess what our cornerstone is? Jacked up.
Yeah.
So if it's to the point where you can pull that cornerstone out of the building, and the building is not going to fall. Not at all.
I'm gonna semi agree with that.
So you would say the community wouldn't feel the
loss.
I'm really eager to hear our men speak to this tonight.
I would say would they feel the loss? There's two angles I'm gonna look at this. The organization, I think it would be missed because
on Sundays.
Not only on Sundays.
Just on Sundays?
No, I'm not. Just
because when nobody ain't got nowhere to go.
But when E said, when E said, the presence is missing, I can agree with that on some behalves because But I think we need to realize again that the church is not just a building or an organization; it is a functioning body. But what I'm saying with that is, again, I think it's when we say these things, we like to blame another entity. What more, and I know the spirituality, but what more value does the church have in your community than your school system, which is failing kids every day?
Or your home.
Or your home.
Which is why I want to make sure we don't lose the focus of the individual part of this. And I'm saying, making sure we state the role that we play now.
Right.
We're talking about it. Or maybe we have, some goals set, that some things that we're going to do that's going to help our community. Maybe you have some ideas how you're going to help your block in particular. Well, so if we turn to that right now, what does that look like? Because ultimately we're having a conversation about crisis communities, But how can we help our crisis communities, especially if I'm a witness of it? Right. One of the things we talked about is saying something. You see something, you say something.
Yes.
So not being silent in our crisis community and further adding to the crisis in our community, not taking dollars away from our small businesses in our communities so that we can strengthen and make our communities more resilient. What other things individually? Because I'll say for sure, that's one. And I look for certain businesses in my community to support.
I do too.
So
here's another one
in particular.
Here's another good one. Outside of supporting our local business or small business, stop letting people from the outside come in
and do business.
And do business.
Okay.
Because they'll come in, they'll see a ravishing neighborhood, and we're like, okay, I could put this here, I could put this here, I could put this here. But guess what? They come and get our money
and leave our community.
So at some point, we need to say, okay, no, you can't come in here.
But will we do it? So are we?
Hold on, I'm getting to that point.
Okay.
Tell them no, that you can't come in because we finna take over. We finna do this. You know what I'm saying? And have it already together and understanding. Listen, if we want this community to thrive, we have to save our community because nobody else is going to come and save our community.
I agree, but when are we going to do that? Because you know how many people talk about that.
I was about to get on that, Doug.
But see, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that we really need to do it, and you need to come to a collective mindset.
Okay.
Everybody had, there's people that have money, and instead of, I got 100,000. You got 100,000. You got 100,000. We all live in this community. I take 25, you take 25, you take 25, and we put it together and say, okay, we got 75,000. Let's buy this building. Let's do business right. As far as, okay, we need a grocery store. Okay, let's put this grocery store here. Let's do it the right way.
Right.
And move forward and say, once we get this one up and going, okay, what else we need?
So
can I
plan an action, sitting at the table, but putting our money on the table. Don't just put our words on the table.
Otherwise, other people are going to come in and put their money because there has to be certain businesses for a community to run. So if the people in the community are not producing those businesses, for example, not too long ago, it was don't shop here, don't shop here. Well, where are you supposed to shop? Because if there are not businesses, let's say in this community, Black businesses that are present, in order to support, other people have to come in so that the community can operate.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Okay.
I got to disagree with your point, Jill, when you said there's not Black businesses in the community.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. We're going to take.
No,
but
I said there's not enough to sufficiently run a community.
Okay. I'll go with that. But here's what I want to say. You said that a couple of weeks ago, everybody was like, don't shop here. Don't spend dollars this. Correct. And
what's the point of that?
And I had a conversation with some people. I was like, okay, if you don't spend money today at this business, what happens tomorrow?
I got to go spend money because I didn't spend it today.
Right. What happens tomorrow? And then the businesses, and he has a great idea. But then what about the businesses that we have had in our communities forever and a day that we let
let's just say it.
Just go down.
Brownlee.
Like Brownlee. I just had this conversation. I've said this before, and I intentionally do this. I go to Brownlee's at least 2-3 times a week out of intention, but I can't keep Brownlee's open. Right. And there's no reason that we haven't built Brownlee's up to where the Pontiac market is, where any other.
Well, see, also you got to understand if on that aspect, did they want to grow that big? Well, so you have to understand that aspect of it.
That aspect, but if we are supporting and we make them,
well, let's not even use Brownlee. Let's use Optimistic.
Let's go Optimistic.
For instance,
and you got to give me another barber, Doc, because you know I support Optimistic.
I know you did. You was there.
I was
faithfully.
Faithfully.
So they just snatched my barber away. But so I say that, and so not to put my own business out there, right? But I just want to keep it real fast. Okay. So standing 31 years, knowing I have the lowest, I challenge anybody out there in the beauty and barber industry, the lowest booth rent in the world. I can say that.
Yeah, you stand on it.
I do. But
Can I get a $5
people will
bouquet?
make an excuse, whatever that little excuse is, why it don't have to be my business, but a business, a salon, a barbershop on the south side. They will make an excuse not to pay, and I'm going to just put a low price out there, a basic $100 a week rental, but they may go somewhere else doing the same thing, same service, got the same opportunity. They could go there trying to pay $250. Now they struggling, can't make ends meet, can't make their car payment, and XYZ, right? Why would a person do that?
Can I be frank? Can I be open?
Because the ice on the other side is
Oh,
colder.
there you go. Oh.
I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me.
They ice is
And
colder.
you still driving a bucket.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you still barely making ends
But-
meet.
And he said
But-
this about mindset, and you said it about mindset.
I don't get
too.
it.
And he took we first time we on the same wavelength. You got like that. I really like because we got to when we talk about mindset, we talk about changes. We got to stop believing, and it's a phrase, and you know I'm gonna say it like it is. We got to stop believing that the white man ice is colder than your ice.
Okay.
The problem is ice, and if it's frozen, it's probably at the same temperature. But for some reason, I believe if I get it from the white man, his ice is extra cold and a lot colder than yours and a lot better than yours. We got to get out of that mindset
But why?
that we can't do.
Why-
Hold on.
why-
Ooh,
Why?
ooh. Can I take that
Why-
one? Go ahead.
why is
I'm gonna
that a
take that
belief?
one. It started back in I Have a Dream days. Let's think about
I'm
this.
with you.
What happened?
Why we want to go sit at somebody else's counter that don't want us there, but we have the same counters, the same food. Actually, our food better over here. But you want to go because they said we don't want no black people over here, so we got to storm. Dude, screw them. We have the same food. Yes, we do. We have the same counters. We have the same diners. We have the same bus routes. We have the same thing on our side of town, on our side of the tracks as theirs. And you think I'm joking? Let's look at it. We could roll some footage on it.
Yeah.
We have the same exact thing, but we want to go over there because you think their ice is colder. Their ice is not colder.
But you know what? And I definitely see where you at with that, and I agree with that. And so watch this other side. So then there's another side where people just tend to believe that I can make more money, you know, if I'm in a certain area, right?
You're not gonna make no more money.
But yet then we complain and we fight and kick when businesses say that and they don't want to move their business or, you know, company on the south side. Then we fuss and whine and complain and say we spend dollars, our money is the same, but it's like you're contradicting yourself. So you say that and you're out there, but yet you don't
You ain't got no other
want to
choice.
be in your own community.
At times you don't have no other choice. Let's think about it. We don't have
Okay.
another choice.
Well, you said no other choice to do what?
There's so many things that's not on the
You
south
said,
side.
yeah, to go spend your dollars elsewhere.
That was my
So
point.
you have
With
to go-
Claire,
Right,
agreed.
and that's why
that
I'm
was
saying,
exactly
so we
what I was
continue
saying.
to stay in the same cycle.
Yes.
Yes.
But
so-
yet we take our dollars out,
Yes.
and then we don't even put our dollars back
Back
in by
in.
supporting whatever businesses are struggling to stay
Correct.
south.
yes.
Exactly. Amen.
That sacrifice to stay south, we don't support. So I'm saying can I say self-inflicted crisis
Yes.
community.
Yes.
So sometimes that's what we're facing. How can we help? And I did ask the question, and I don't want to just get
I'm
around
trying to
it, but
understand
I
it.
do want us. What can we do individually? What are we doing individually? So I want to get into that real quick so we can try to help the situation. We have a company we work with, our partners, our sister, OMV.
Right.
We doing one thing that they suggest,
Right.
which is have a platform
Correct.
where you
Yeah.
give information,
Yes.
resources, resourceful.
Right.
That's what we do. Offering workshops and training in the community. Remember, we had a whole, how many weeks of financial
Yes.
literacy
We had
training
2 of them. So it total
And
like
so-
8 to 10 weeks.
series.
Yes.
Exactly. So doing those type of things, how else can we help our community?
So I think a lot of those workshops that ONV has provided teach how to attend to your own personal development. So a lot of times, not all, a lot of times, all the time, it is easier for me to focus on my own personal development than it is for me to go out there and change the world. So you have to look at how you contribute. How do I contribute to the problems in the community? How can I better my own four walls? How can I raise my child better so that I'm not contributing? So it's not always a huge, let me change the world. It's let me attend to my own personal development so that I can be a positive contribution to the community.
Exactly. And that's what I want us to talk about real quick.
Let me go with that. You were talking about ONV. Another entity that we've dealt with and we've talked to, Smith Academy for Excellence. Not only do we need the business, we need the education, we need the infrastructure, we need the whole nine. So you need to cover all areas. Now, I don't know how many students Smith has right now, but I know it's not the amount of students that would be effective for a greater change. I know he's doing the work. He's working hard. Him and his two sons, I believe, his two sons are doing the work because I've talked to one of the sons. But we need all of that, starting from education. Financial. You talked about the financial literacy. I think we need, and individually, Jill was right. Too many times I'm concerned about my corner of the world. I'm concerned about how it's going to affect me and not the greater.
Yes.
Until we can put this block with this block with this block and realize that, you always say it, we're stronger together.
Well, or look at it with the flip. If your room catches on fire and it's burning up and I'm right next to you, if I don't help you put that out,
mine's going to burn too.
Well.
And we see that. I hate to mention it, but Los Angeles and some of these other places, there's a fire over here. If I stand there and just look and say, oh, look, what's going to happen?
Fire's over there.
It's going to continue.
Well, Clarence, I'm going to agree with what you said and disagree.
I'm with you.
Okay. I agree with, dealing with my corner. My corner is my environment, right? Also, what's also in my corner is the people that I'm surrounded by. They are also in my environment. So if I change my environment for the good, guess what? I'm reaching out to you, So that's affecting not just my corner, that's affecting the people that I'm surrounded by. If I better my little corner. So sometimes you have to be that selfish and say, I gotta change my corner, my environment, so it'll reach out to you, and while me changing my environment is helping you change your environment, and our environments collide together in good harmony. Now it's moving on to the next person. So you have to start.
I'm with you on that.
You have to start like that and move it around.
Exactly.
That
back to stronger together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Clarence, you seem like you was getting ready to go somewhere.
No.
Okay.
I was looking at the clock, but I want to do it.
Yeah, we got to get out of here.
I want
in a
to answer
second,
your
but-
question
Okay.
because I think you answered it at the first, but I was waiting for you to get to it again.
Okay.
Who are we expecting to come save us?
Exactly.
I was hoping that's where you were going.
That's
so
exactly where I'm going. And that's why I'm
Jesus?
saying, and so besides
Jesus.
that, because Jesus is coming to save us, but
Jesus.
save us, Jesus.
Hallelujah.
But I'm saying individually, we have to take ownership, and there's things that we
agreeing
need to
with you
do.
on that.
Real quick, before we have to get out of here, I just want to say some of the things, and that's why I pointed out the things that OMV has already been doing, and I'm gonna just say for years we've already been here.
Right.
Even Neutral Voices, we've been here
Yes.
at the panel. We've been out in our communities.
Yes.
We've been covering stories, talking about things that's important, talking about what people haven't been talking
Right.
about, etc. So establishing communication within our community, so
Yes.
that we can have like a community bulletin, so that everybody is on the same page, and awareness is an
spread.
opportunity, for everyone to take advantage of more social media groups. We not hating. Come on, get
Right.
the microphone.
Right.
Let's talk about it. One in particular, some of you may be a part of, Nosy Neighbors. That's something
I've heard
people
about
find out a lot about that
Before
on
the news. Before the
Facebook,
news.
before the news.
That right there, nosy neighbors, that's messy.
Do not.
It is.
Okay, but wait,
So
wait.
that's, I
I've
mean,
heard of it. I don't
can't
know.
Wait,
roll-
I
I
want
can't
to
roll
say
with
this.
you on
Wait,
that.
I gotta say this.
Can't roll with you on
But
that.
what I gotta say is, they have over 64,000 followers. So
Nosy people.
but no,
Messy people.
Okay, because we running out of time.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I
it's
just need
messy.
to get this out there. The point is in coming together,
Yes.
awareness, because
Yeah, I
there's
feel
some
where you're going
things
with
I
that.
want y'all to know. There's some things that come across nosy neighbors that will save your life when you find out it's going on in your
I
community
can
or
feel- I
even
can see
next
that.
door
They're on it.
They're
to
on
you.
it.
Because sometimes nosy neighbors will report things that the media will not, and they will report it faster. So while FWPD is en route, nosy neighbors are already saying, y'all better look at you
But-
better lock your doors
but-
because this is what's going
I
on.
With
in
a
the
photo
community.
and a video.
I'm gonna keep.
I got
I'm
one thing
gonna
to eat.
wait.
Go
Let
ahead,
me
go ahead.
before you say that.
Yeah.
Anything in the wrong person's hands can be negative
Preach.
and or positive
Yes.
in the right person's hands. So that's what I want to say about that. Anything you want to add, Clarence, before
No,
I keep
you
moving?
you cleaned it up. So I'm
Okay.
good. I'm
can't clean that
Okay,
mess
let
up.
me just
Cleaned it
finish
up.
your
Cleaned
point.
it up.
Okay,
Downey can't clean that mess up.
create in our community, create emergency plans so that maybe I live in a trailer, maybe I can come to your house, you don't, but we've already talked about it. In a crisis, in a storm, in a situation, come to my house.
Right.
We need to do more communicating like that within our communities, our cities. Promote resource sharing, kind of like the things we do. So you come
Yeah.
together, you have information there that's going to help people. Foster community engagement when at all possible. I already mentioned the 10-point coalition, organizations like that we miss. I heard they might be coming back. Supporting local businesses. We can't say that enough. But in order to support the right way, that means you have to take pride in supporting your community. It goes back to, am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper?
right.
Okay, because we have to be kept. Right?
That's true.
I'm
Yes.
never too proud to say, I need you.
Yes.
What's the
You
point
need
of
me.
me having a salon, although I don't need anybody at this moment, but what's the point of me having a salon if I don't
You don't have
want to
any-
rent out
right,
any
right,
of my
right,
spaces?
right.
Right? Engaging the community in planning. Do we attend community planning events?
Right.
Or we just sit back and complain about the plans that they come up with while we were sitting at home
The second
doing
one.
nothing?
The second one.
Create safe spaces, and I kind of talked about that. Providing emotional support when we're going through some
Yes.
things in our families, bringing families closer together, having more engagement with our youth. Are we forgetting our young people, our teenagers? Are we having things that they can engage in? Are we giving them
Positive things.
opportunities to show their leadership skills? So there's a lot of things we can do to strengthen our communities, and so that we don't continue to harp on having a crisis community. What are we doing to make them stronger, individually or as a group?
Right.
Well, you know, you got a bunch of, well, I know for one, HBC club. Historical
Okay,
Black
we can
College
give some
Club.
shouts out as
So,
we get
I
ready
mean,
to exit
if-
HBCU.
Yeah, that historical Black College had a college fair.
Yes, that was
Saturday.
good.
Yes.
So I mean, it's different things that a lot of people are doing for the community
Yes.
and for the kids. But here's the thing, you know, we got to stop saying, "Well, my child might not know." Take your child,
Right.
force your child. We need to get back to that. Sometimes we need to go back to the old ways to clean some things up.
To clean,
We're
some
going.
things up.
I mean, you have to.
Do you wanna
Instead
go?
of, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do you want to go
We're
to
going.
Nah, we going to here and shut up and let's go.
Get in the
Let's go.
car.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we have to do. I'm just saying that's what we have to do with our youth. I mean, I told my son, let's go. Well, I'm going to, I don't care where school you think you're going to, you going over here. I mean, it's just, we have to get back to really supporting each other.
Supporting each other.
Period.
I love that. And I know, Clarence, you sound like you had something to say. And
Yeah,
I'll just tell you,
Go ahead.
we're getting close to the
Yeah,
end.
and
So
I'm
you
gonna
can
be quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna be quick. I really am. I was just having this conversation. having this
Having a
conversation.
conversation.
And the conversation was with you, as a matter of fact.
Oh, my bad.
The conversation was with you.
Time's
as a
up.
matter of fact. So, I would have been done if it had to do with him.
I yield back.
I would have been done. But here's what I want to say. And not be, and I think we're all saying the same thing.
Okay.
But here's what we have to do is we can't rely on it. We're talking about, you mentioned Trump. We talk
No, I
about
didn't.
not on the show. We mentioned
You telling my business.
All right.
No.
But here's the thing. There's two ways we can look at something. We can either look at it at doom and gloom, or we can look at it, we have to wake up.
Absolutely.
A lot of things that he's done, yes, beneficial to who or what. But if it's beneficial for one, it's beneficial for all. Here's what I'm saying.
I know how to
We have, depending on how you do it, what we have to do as a group is we need to wake up and we need to put all these things that we're talking about together. We got to stop saying, woe is me, and stop saying, it's my time. And if we can, as a community, focus on what we can do instead of what we're not getting, it'll be a whole different thing.
Definitely agree with that.
We can finally stop singing "We shall overcome"
And just overcome.
and just overcome.
And so one of the ways we can overcome is by making sure we stay informed, continue to build relationships, volunteer in the community. There's a lot of organizations. We just heard from one last night, our Young Mothers of America. Practice self-care. Let's put that to the top of the list, and continue to advocate for change. We have to stay connected and stay tuned into Neutral Voices
Amen.
Media Group. Watch us. We just thank you so much for being with us, hanging out, allowing us to just have a good conversation as you listen in. And until next time, as we always say before we leave the people,
Always protect your mind.
a podcast by Neutral Voices Media
Count
Group,
your opinions
NV,
important, so you
NV.
gotta speak out. Don't let your chance to be heard pass by. Spell out, let me hear you loud, proud. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Shout it out real loud. Everybody wake up. Wake up. No time for sleeping on the issues. This is Neutral Voices. We gon' deal with the issues.